the Cardi-Girls. We're Cardi-Girls. I'm gonna say what we want. The Cardi-Girls. Singing from the front. The Cardi-Girls. Our mouths are our guns and we here and fighting cause it has to be done. We're gonna say what we want. The Cardi-Girls. Singing from the front. The Cardi-Girls. Our mouths are our guns and we here and fighting cause it has to be done.
So now,
We're gonna say what we want.
break your friends like
Cardi-Girls. Singing from
it's like a bit of a free-for-all, isn't it, really?
I think there's an assumption that
For a while now, Jodi, while we talk about some of this week's highlights.
Yep, absolutely.
We're gonna say what we
The Tucker
want. The
Carlson,
Cardi-Girls. We're singing from the front. The Cardi-Girls. Our mouths are our guns and we here and fighting cause it has to be done.
Oh, good, you're here.
Can you see me? I've got my face covered up with some stupid thing that comes on my laptop all the time. How are you?
No, I can see you and I can hear you, which is very good.
That's good because I've jumped from phone to laptop to phone back to laptop, so it's worked.
Yeah, well,
Just
I
a
can
tech
see you.
whiz.
You're brilliant. I can see you clearly and I can hear you, so that's good.
Oh, that's a good start. That's really good.
So,
So how
yeah.
have you been? Been well?
I have, yes. I have nothing to complain about, really. I've been on a little holiday with my son
Yes.
to Sunshine
I saw
Coast.
that. Looked like you
And
had a
that
great time.
Yeah, it was really lovely. Yeah, it was only
Oh.
5 sleeps, but it was nice. Came back feeling refreshed
Yeah.
and enthused to go back again and see a bit more of what's up there because it's pretty part of the world.
Yeah, geez, isn't it?
Yeah.
The beach is beautiful.
Yeah, we went on a jet boat out to sea through the whatever that body of water is that you start in the lake at Noosa or start in the river at Noosa, then you go out to the sea and around the coast. We went
Yes.
on one of those fast boats. That was very, very exciting. I loved every minute of that. I had a smile from ear to ear. My son said that he too found it exhilarating, so that was nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and then yesterday I went to see the Melania Trump movie. I took myself off to the theatre to see
Oh,
that.
what was that like?
Absolutely wonderful. I loved it. I'm going to go again tomorrow with a couple of other friends.
Right.
So it was quite joyous and quite beautiful, like lots of beautiful things to look at, like her clothing and like the candlelight dinner they had the night before the inauguration. It was quite visually beautiful and gave me a feeling of upliftment. I just came out
Right.
feeling uplifted.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah. So
Actually, that could have been why all the people were at the cinema yesterday. I had to go in to do something else to town. A whole heap of women came out. They're probably at that same movie.
yeah, it was all women in there.
Yeah.
In the session I went to, and there was only a couple spare seats. It was only a small cinema, but it was quite well filled for a Monday afternoon. I was quite pleased to see.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm going to
No, it
move
was-
because the aircon's too cold.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it warm where you are?
Oh, it's been really warm, and we just haven't had any rain.
No.
But then, it's summertime. We don't expect too much, but we haven't had a decent summer for quite a few years. So it's actually nice to have some summer.
It's
And,
lovely to have some summer. It's just starting to feel a bit crunchy, isn't it? A bit dry and
Well, it
crunchy.
is. The mornings are a bit cooler, but it hasn't been cooling down here in the night as much as it usually does. Although I must admit, we always throw a doona on our bed in the evening. So, yeah, so it's the days are warm, but in the aircon, of course, you don't notice it. So, yeah.
We've finally had air conditioning installed in our old house. We've been living here for 8 years with an air conditioner that I think came out of the Ark. It
Probably
certainly
makes a
made
difference.
noise like it came out of the Ark. It was the rowdiest thing. Everything, if there was any, like it squeaked when it's it's got the option to swivel the vents. I mean, it used to squeak as well as rattle.
Yes.
And I don't know that it blew cold air really, but it gave us a feeling that we were doing something about the heat. And now we've got a 7 kilowatt split system.
Oh, right. You notice
Oh
it.
my goodness, it's just beautiful. Because our place is timber. It's an old timber cottage, like it would have been a railway worker's cottage, I think. back in the day. It was built in 1910, so I wouldn't think the insulation was that good in the walls, and
No.
so it was pretty hot. Anyway,
Especially in
we're
your neck
talking
of
now.
That's right. I can't believe how quickly the last 2 weeks has gone. I seem to have, I don't know, think what I've done. I think, what have I done? Anyway, it's been good. So
Well, I know it's done. You found us someone else to talk to.
I know, and I'm so excited because Jodie Sard, I'm going to read out a little bio on her because she's quite an amazing woman. She is an Australian human rights advocate, campaign strategist, and community organiser. She is the President of Amnesty International, South Australia and Northern Territory, and worked directly for the Australian Assange Campaign, playing a hands-on role in national advocacy efforts that contributed to Julian Assange's return home. Jodi works in public campaigns supporting free speech, whistleblowers, and the public's right to know, and has been a consistent public advocate for David McBride, Richard Boyle, Robert Pether, and Julian Assange. She's best known for leading the Meet Your MP for Assange program, and actually that's where I got to really engage with Jodi, which mobilised thousands of Australians to engage directly with elected representatives, demonstrating the power of sustained constituent-led political pressure. Jodi's also the event producer, and this is drumroll, of the Power of Activism Day, a one-day festival within the Adelaide Fringe that brings together activists, artists, journalists, and the general public to connect and, most importantly, I think, learn and celebrate the breadth of advocacy work happening across Australia. She speaks regularly on whistleblower protection, press freedom, which I watched today. She's pretty good. Australian sovereignty and how everyday people can turn concern into meaningful, positive change, which I think we are all trying to do. And people sit back and say, oh, you know, they grizzle and whinge. It won't happen unless you do something. And I'm so glad that I came across Jodi. And if Jodi can come and join us, she can tell us her magical powers and how she does this.
Hi. Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah, no, hi, Jodi. How are you? I was just saying that's how I got to meet you, really, when you were doing the mobilising the campaign to get over to the States with the politicians.
Yeah, 100%. And you were fantastic because organising the 6 delegates from all their different directions and trying to get them all over to Washington was a little bit, far-fetched for I'm not a travel coordinator. So thank you so much for that, Kay. You really saved all of us in
I think it's how the planets align, because it was just wonderful because we got to meet, and when like-minded people meet, anything can happen, can't it?
100%. And it's been a pleasure to meet you. Also, it's amazing. So thank you very much for having me on your podcast, ladies. Appreciate it.
Right. Well, I guess we should start with really why, what's driven you, because you've done so many different things, to do the Day of Activism.
Well, I guess I was doing some stuff for Free Tibet back in the early 2000s, but I think what really triggered it off was Julian. I used to live in London, so I used to walk past the Ecuadorian embassy, and I used to always stop and think, oh my God, I should just knock on the door. I should just go in and see if he, would like to chat to a fellow Aussie, because I'd always followed his work. And so I never did. But then when I got back to Australia, and then he got pulled out of the Ecuadorian embassy the way that he did, obviously with Ecuador revoking his asylum, I was like completely frustrated at this point. It was clear that the government wasn't going to do anything. Poor Julian had suffered enough. Even by that time, he'd been 7 years in the Ecuadorian embassy, and prior to that, not many people know that he also was under house arrest for about a year before that, on and off, before he was even in the Ecuadorian embassy. So I just got so frustrated, and I thought, well, if no one's going to do anything, I might as well do something. And I put I think it was like a message out on Facebook saying how frustrated I was under someone's post. And I met a really lovely lady here also in Adelaide called Steph. And so we decided to meet, and we started Adelaide for Assange. And as they say, the rest is history, really. So, yeah, that's kind of how I got into activism for Julian, because for me, about free speech and free press and our right to know what our government is doing as sovereign citizens of countries. We're not children, and we should really have the right to know, and there should be full transparency from our governments.
Correct.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
What was it that you were doing in London? Like, what were you doing for work?
So I lived in London 15 years on and off, and my then husband, so I was working for the family business. We have a business called Easy Pack, and we sell environmental disposable packaging. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, and
I thought you might have been a journalist or something.
No, not a journalist. No, business development manager, national sales manager, and marketing manager for a company. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I used to have to go there to get my children's school uniforms. So, and I still have to walk past the Ecuadorian embassy. So I usually was in tow with 2 little children as well. But he would have loved to have met us, but that's okay. Or we would have loved. Yeah.
So with the Assange campaign, you did lots of different things with that.
Yeah. So basically, with the Assange campaign, which was literally the best job I've had in my life. It was my itikai, something you can get paid for, something you're doing a really good job, and something that you're passionate about. So it was all like the stars aligned, I guess. Because by that time I'd probably been standing in front of Penny Wong's office. So we stood there every Tuesday in front of Penny Wong's office. And then, I got to know Gabrielle and John, and I wrote a strategy and said, I can, pull this together. So we all pulled the Meet the MP program together, and we launched that in January of 2023. So the Meet the MP program was basically to empower Australian people. We wrote scripts, we had everything for you. So it was really a no-brainer for someone that wanted to advocate for Julian but just didn't know how. So not only did we have the Meet the MP program all written down for people, that we also had a dedicated coordinator, which was moi. So I could set up meetings for people, then see what area they're in, and then I'd get the people together and they would go and meet their MP. And they had all the documentation they needed and things like that. Yeah.
I think you could probably set up lots of campaigns with Meet Your MP. We could ask them 52 questions, 1 a week.
Yeah, easy. I've done a really loose one for Palestine. Like, when I say loose, it's I've written it. It's on a Google Docs, so people can access that. We've done that in South Australia, but I think the success of the Assange Meet Your MP program was that it had a dedicated coordinator that could actually drive it. It's one thing to say, hey, go and meet, write a letter to your MP, but it's quite another thing for people to be persistent, which we have to be, because these politicians, they've got gatekeepers, they've got layers of fat between you and them. You've got the receptionist you have to get through, then you've got the diary manager if you get that far. So having someone that's persistent, again, me, and I don't mind if they say no to me a million times. It's not going to stop me picking up the phone, the next day and asking the exact same question if I can have a meeting. So, and that's the kind of persistence that people really need with these MPs and senators.
Do you think people have a fear?
I know they do. It was the biggest takeout
that they can't do it.
The biggest takeout I had from the whole experience was I was absolutely so surprised at how intimidating and intimidated people are of MPs. I'm not saying all MPs and all senators are like that, because that would be disingenuous, but the lion's share are. And I think something around Julian Assange, I mean, we went to so many meetings. Some people didn't know anything about them, so they get defensive. So you go and you're like, I don't expect you to know everything about Julian Assange, but we are here as your constituent to kind of step by step say, you know, what is wrong and why we need him out. So the biggest takeout I had really was how people felt intimidated by their MP. And the best part of my job was being able to encourage people and make them brave and confident in their own selves, and to undo that programming where you might think that an MP is better than you, or they're smarter than you, or they sit across from their desks and they've got big books about this thick, you know. So, you know, they look impressive, but it's all smokes and mirrors, and people should really go and see their MPs, and because they're your voice to Parliament. You know, your local MP is your voice to Parliament. It's not the other way around. They don't, you know.
That's what you forget. You forget that.
People do forget it, and then they'll ring up once and they'll get a no, and then they feel awkward. Like most people feel awkward.
And what I find completely deflating is that you'll send an email and you get the auto reply email, and that's all you ever get. It's all like I've written to that Rebecca Sharkey here umpteen times. Not once have I ever heard back from her. I've always got an auto reply, and that's all I've ever got. And I just think that's disgraceful.
That's a real shame. But it is common, and then people you need to follow it up. You need to write another email going, "Hi, I'm just following up my previous email dated XYZ. I was wondering if you've had any time to consider that." And then if they don't get back to you on that, you ring them up and you're like, "I've sent you 2 emails, one on this date and one on this date. I was wondering if I could please have some feedback." They can't hide forever, you know. Well, some people I've never heard from them. Yeah.
No, and that's, to me, that is just the height of, arrogance when there is no response at all. I've asked some questions, and then I've basically been told by a department, we don't have to answer you. And well, hang on. You know that word public servant?
Yeah.
You are the public servant, and this is our job to ask the question. Because otherwise, and I don't know why it's become like this. I don't know if it was like this always. I remember my mum, she used to write letters all the time years ago. She'd be always writing off to somebody. And as you said, Jodi, you can't give up. You just have to keep hammering in a nice way. Yeah,
in a nice way, and a respectful way. And look, you do have to be persistent, 100%. But these MPs do work for us, and transparency is becoming and accountability are becoming a huge problem with governments all over the world. We're seeing this, you know, I mean, we're seeing it played out on a massive scale. I think a lot of people are waking up to it, which gives me a lot of comfort, I think, because the fact that people are waking up and going, well, what are these governments doing? And why aren't they answering? Like, for example, AUKUS, things like AUKUS, just one thing, AUKUS, $368 billion for 11 submarines. Come on. You know, people know that that's just a complete farce, and it sounds more like money laundering to the US than it does that we're ever going to get any submarines.
Yes.
You know, maybe the US is tanking a little bit, needs a little bit of extra, you know, a bit of extra income. But things like that, people are really concerned about it, and rightly so. And again, we have to come together. We have to come together. We have to put pressure on our MPs. And if our MPs aren't working for us, then we get other MPs, people that are in it. And another thing that I'd really like to see is a lot of everyday people actually putting themselves forward to actually go on councils and state parliament and government. I know that's more difficult now given the new laws around independence. But, you know, these politicians are definitely being less transparent and less accountable. Look at Rex Patrick, all the freedom of information things that he needs to put forward. And sometimes they don't come through for 2 years. It takes someone, a bureaucrat, 2 years to find a piece of paper and send it to Rex Patrick.
Well, I asked a question of our local member, just the other email. I sent the email at the end of January, and my question was, which I thought would have been a straight yes or no, are we still in a state of emergency? I would have thought, yes, we are, or, oh, no, haven't got a response yet. That's not a hard question. It's a yes or a no.
Yeah. Well, like I said, with any subject, you really need to press your MP and go and see them.
Yep.
And
don't
really
you worry, I'll run him back. I've chased him. He'll be going, not here again. Not here comes again.
Yeah, I know they see, my emails pop up and they're like, oh my God, not Jodie again.
That's right.
Like, what's Jodie got to say now? I doubt it.
Somebody's just written a comment because they've dicked with our constitution. Well, we know that, and nobody's responsible for it. And then who do you go to? Because I've been to things where they've pushed constitutional matters in the High Court and then they've pushed it down to the Federal Court. Somebody has to take hold of these issues that we have, but that's the whole thing. Who is accountable? It's a bit like...
That's a really good question. I mean, that's the big question, right?
It is.
That's the big question.
To us. They're accountable to us, really.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, they're meant to be. If we're living in a so-called democracy, if we believe let's just be idealistic and say that we're living in a democracy. That's exactly how it's meant to work. You vote for this person, you don't want this person. But to be honest, I think Liberal and Labor have become so similar.
Just little birds, same wings.
Finally seeing that it is a bit of a show. It's a little bit of a show. You're getting the same. A few things might change here and there, but ultimately we have to stop playing the left and the right or Liberal and Labor and really look at our politicians and really have a good hard think of what they stand for, because we have to bring values, our Australian values, back to our politicians. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, we do. And then the only way probably we can get a voice is if people speak up and they know we're not happy. Because if you sit back and don't say anything, they just think everything's hunky-dory.
They think everything's hunky-dory, yeah.
So we just got...
I don't think they think things are hunky-dory. I think they're relying on people sitting back. I think that's the status quo and that's what they like. I think, I think they've lived this nice little sheltered existence for a long time because people believe that when people went into the government, they went in there with the good intentions to serve the people. But I think, that's about to be shattered. If it's not shattered already, it's really cracking. And everyday punters can see that their governments are no longer working for them. This system's not actually working. I mean, Herzog being in Australia, really, I'm not going to get
into that. Not allowed to protest about it.
Yeah. They're building a legislative prison around us at the moment. And this is my biggest fear, is the legislative prison, right? Bringing in anti-protest laws, bringing in hate speech laws, bringing in the social media for under 16s. I mean, it's all getting a little nuts. And I feel like saying, hey, we're not children. We don't need Daddy Malinauskas here in South Australia or Daddy Albo telling us what we can think, because that's going to be the next thing. What we can say, what we can read,
what we can write. Yep.
For example, Candace Owens, not allowed a visa. Thanks, Tony Burke.
How unbelievable was that?
I know. But then they let in an actual war criminal and other things.
Yes.
And Herzog. So, I think really lost their way.
A very, very close friend of, do you say who you meant? Mr. Epstein.
100%. That's what I meant. You're right on the money, Kay. But the Epstein files are landed. Herzog's all over it. Israel's all over it. I mean, we won't get totally into that, but,
we could talk all night. I know, it's amazing. It's incredible. And it's all coming out, even in mainstream. Some of the mainstreams even coming out with it.
Yeah, the links, the dots are, the dots are being connected, and there's so much information. I think we live in exciting times. I know everyone's like, it's a time of division and fatigue and things like that, but I think it's quite exciting because I don't think at any time have we ever been able to get as much information. And that's what's got them all scared. That's why, Larry Ellison's buying up TikTok and CNN and Nickelodeon and banning the children for years from, 16 under. They're after the children initially because they've lost us, but they're after the children. But we live in really exciting times because we've never had this much access to information if you want to find it. And the beauty of Julian Assange, the beauty of that man, he has many things that are amazing about him. But if you scratch the itch about, hey, who's Julian Assange? I wonder what's, and you go there, and a whole world opens up to you of really what's going on. And then you go, well, if that's happening, what's happening over there? And then, it's really interesting. It's liberating to actually know what's happening in the planet instead of just being on that treadmill and thinking that you can't keep up with what's happening. It's not you, right? The mortgage and everything, it's all deliberate. So people really need to start informing themselves because all of the information's out there. And it never has been before, so it's quite exciting.
It is. Actually, today I was really excited because I believe it's the 30, 40, because I'm old. I'm the oldest here. But it's the 30, 40s and the 50s, especially the 40s, that have really got to do something now. And I spoke to two guys today who have been questioning and all of a sudden waking up. And we're talking about things. And one guy said, oh, this is great. This is what I'm really interested in. And I said, well, it's all out there. You just got to make time every day to go hunt something up, listen to something when you're driving. And it may not be correct, but then it's up to your gut feel to go to weigh it up. And then go do some research.
There's a lot of really credible stuff out there at the moment.
There's some great stuff.
We've got some really good journalists doing some good, like Tucker Carlson completely turned his back on mainstream news. And you don't have to be a Tucker Carlson fan, right? No. But, some stuff, the things people say, he's a respected enough journalist that you should listen to what he says. And then if you don't agree with it, go and find someone else. But Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, I'm a big fan. I thank them for the work that they do because they are excellent at communicating really tricky topics and in such a way that they also come with receipts. They're really good journalists. And you've got Chris Hedges and you've got so many great people, Julian Assange, WikiLeaks, John Pilger. We've got so many amazing people that you can get some information.
Actually, just going back to Candace, I don't know if I ever told you this, that when they banned her, because we'd bought tickets to go see her, I wrote to Tony Burke because it was his birthday. And I said to him, dear Tony, I'm hoping you've had a lovely birthday, but I'm just writing to say I've actually paid money to go and listen to Candace Owen, but I wouldn't go around the corner to listen to you.
Yeah, good on you.
I didn't get a response.
God, imagine that.
Why? He doesn't
Anyway.
know.
No, and I would have just loved him to say why they didn't let her in. Why?
I know.
No.
You never say why.
They wouldn't allow David Icke in either.
Yeah.
He found out sitting in the lounge at the airport, and they came out and said, your visa's been revoked. You can't go.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. But which brings us to, you need to start telling us now, this day of activism, what people are going to get out of the day of activism.
The power of activism. So I live in South Australia, and we have some really, not only really amazing people here, but really kind, concerned, passionate, smart, and very talented people, as we do around Australia as well, especially in our community. But there's a lot of people I don't even know them, or we don't know each other. Like Susanna lives in South Australia, and I have not met Susanna before. So there's a lot of people doing some amazing things. So the power of activism is ultimately about community, bringing us all together under a banner of the festival, right? Celebrating what activists do. So it's a one-day festival, as you can see, of art, performance, and people power. So we've got artists and all kinds of artists. So we've got paintings, ceramics. We've got, I don't know if you know Peter Drew, who does the big Aussie posters. So he's given us some of his work, which is fantastic. I've actually got it sitting here. Caitlin Johnson, who's amazing. She's sending over some of her artwork from Melbourne, which is awesome. So a huge amount of art that's going to be up. I think we've got 21 artists ranging from watercolors to ceramics to Indigenous art, which is amazing as well. So it starts at around, I might as well tell you, it starts around 12. It starts at 12. So it's going to be like a kind of a conference feel when you come in. We've got a soapbox. So we've got installations as well that you can take part in. So we've got a soapbox out the front for everyday punters that want to sign up and get on their soapbox and have something.
You and me, Susanna.
Yeah, your name's on there already, Kay. I got you down. And you can speak about anything, as long as it's, there's no swearing and it's, above board. Because, it's a peaceful event. It's a family event. So yeah, we got you get that, and then we'll go inside, and we've got all these tables. So I think we've got around 26 organisations that have signed up to have tables there. So going from, a FOPA to Amnesty to Extinction Rebellion. So a huge David McBride table. We've got, it's a huge amount of
Is there still space for more people if they want to come?
So for the tables, I think we're pretty booked out, but you can contact us at Power of Activism at proton.me. So if you want to submit something or take part, we're also looking for volunteers. So if anyone wants to volunteer on the day, but yeah, definitely we are restricted now in spaces because we've had such an overwhelming response from the activism community, not only here in Adelaide, but it has reached over the borders now as well. So it's really exciting. Yeah, I'm really excited, a little bit terrified, but mainly excited. So that's going to be all the tables, but the ballroom has got a mezzanine level, and if you go upstairs, that's where all the art's going to be. We've also got a talented photographer here called Jordan Ellis, and he is going to be doing a film installation in one of the rooms, so you can walk in there anytime and sit down, and it's a whole ream of short movies, short activist films. So that's one of our installations. Another one of our installations is we have the Speak Up tent. So this is kind of going back kind of what we did for Julian. We did it with the MPs actually, which was really exciting, asking MPs to get on their socials and say something about Julian. So this is just a bigger version of that, or a different version. We've got a tent, you go in and you get videoed, taped, maybe about 15 seconds, 20 seconds, saying something about what you're concerned about, or what you think a solution might be to a problem, whatever you want to say to the camera, and then we just cut that up. And that'll be on loop all day as well, so you can go in and watch what people in the actual event are thinking, which is kind of sweet as well, I think. We also have a drum workshop, so a rebellion drum workshop, how to make your own drums, for your protests. And we also have a banner making workshop as well, so you can get the paints out and you can make your own banners and walk around, and
that's great.
You can bring your shit stirrers, so it's going to be great. So that's going for about 2 hours with the tables. Then we're going to be going outside for a huge welcome to country, done by the Spirit of Unity here, which is going to be really nice. We've got a smoking ceremony, a welcome to country, and the drummers are bringing us back into the venue, which by this time has been changed into an auditorium, sort of with the main stage being for the speakers. And
great.
So it's really exciting.
No wonder you need volunteers.
We need volunteers. Yeah. Well, it's going to go till 10 o'clock at night. So the speakers are for about 2.5 hours.
Yes.
We've got Eddie Lloyd coming over, flying in to discuss what's happening with David McBride, of course. He's still in in a prison cell, basically. Hasn't hurt anyone, done anything. He's the whistleblower, and he has been given 8 years of prison, essentially, for being a whistleblower. I think he's up for parole in August, so he's already been there for close to 2 years, which is terrible. Shocking. Again,
but most people don't even know who he is. When you say it, they go, "Who?" Because he's had hardly any mainstream.
Really, yeah.
Well, they
no
won't
mainstream. No. So Eddie's coming over. We're going to have a table. We've got some David McBride supporters that are coming over and doing a table for David, which is going to be great. before I get onto the speakers, so when you go into the ballroom as well, it's got a mezzanine, like I said, where all the artists are going to be, but it also lends itself to banners. So the whole place is going to be covered in banners. So if you haven't been in contact with me already about your banners, please send them to me. So it doesn't have to be new banners. So we've got Julian Assange banners, David McBride banners, Amnesty banners, and there's so many beautiful banners. So if you've got one of those beautiful banners, we've got BDS, Free Palestine banners, Sanction Israel Now banners, so all sorts. So yeah, the speakers will come on and we're going to have a panel, and thankfully Kim Wagiri from Michael West Media is moderating. Amazing. I'm so pleased. So it's going to be great. I mean, I'm really excited about the speakers section. We've got Rex Patrick, Eddie Lloyd. We've got Mike Kazam, who is a local FOPA person here in Adelaide, and he's just an amazing public speaker. I just love listening to him. He's knowledgeable and passionate. So yeah, we've got him. Of course, we've got the wonderful John Shipton coming over, gracing us with his presence. So we're really excited about that. And to talk about Julian and to talk about the activism that went into freeing Julian, because I think it's really important for us to celebrate the wins. And people need to see that we can win. People go, because people, even with Julian, people are like, oh, you're never going to get him out. I don't know why you're bothering. It's like, well, okay. I didn't wake up every morning and go, hey, let me just work really hard because we're never going to get him out.
Yeah, that's right. Just waste my time.
Yeah, just love it.
Yeah, there you go. There's the pessimism, and the pessimism's not good. You have to be optimistic.
Yeah, I'm not a pessimist at all. It's just not in my bones. But yeah, but that's gonna be great to have John over here. We've got Renfrey Clark, who's also a local, and he's speaking about anti-AUKUS. And we've got the wonderful Robbie Barwick, and he's coming over to speak about Dan Duggan, another person that's been in, I think he's even in solitary confinement. I mean, in Lithgow, a father of five. I mean,
yes.
It's just.
I listened to that the other day. I listened to a guy speaking about that. It's terrible. He had nothing.
Madness. It's completely madness. Again, the Attorney General, what is she doing? Seriously, this woman, and that's one person that everyone should write to, because honestly, the David McBride, Dan Duggan thing, it's shocking, really. Locking up whistleblowers and innocent Australian men has to stop.
Yeah. And then there's another one I see Gabrielle's just written about in the last couple of days. Another whistleblower with ASIO.
Yeah. I've not really crossed that one, yeah. No. I mean, it's going to become a huge thing, because the Whistleblower Protection Act is just shocking. I mean, we had another win as well, Richard Boyle, obviously, here in South Australia, the Australian taxation whistleblower. But only after they dragged him through court and his family for, like years, So, they're ruthless and they're relentless, and it's all about punishing the individual for whistleblowing. It's not particularly about anything else above that, to be honest.
And create the fear.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I have invited Richard, and I would love Richard to attend, but he has been through a lot, so I completely understand if he isn't up to it at all, but the invitation's still there for you, Richard. We also have Ahmed Azur, which is a local activist here in South Australia, again, a great speaker, and I think he's the first person that got arrested for protest laws here in South Australia. And I love the story, because I think he's around 25 years old. He got arrested under the protest laws here in South Australia. They locked him up. They were saying, oh, we'll let you go, but you need to sign all these provisos, not to go to a rally, not to do this. And he said, oh, I'll stay here then, I'm not going to sign that. Anyway, he got out, which is fantastic, and I don't think he's been charged with absolutely anything. But the great story about Ahmed is that he's running against Malinauskas here in South Australia for the seat that Malinauskas is, because he's our state premier. So, Be careful who you pick on. That's all I've got to say, because you pressure people enough, mate, you make diamonds. That's what I think. So,
yes.
So
Oh, you're doing a great job.
yeah, great. He's doing awesome. He's been door knocking, old school. I think they've reached about 4,000 doors in that electorate. So one of my things is, if you've got an independent that's running, I think he's with the SA Socialist. I know he's with the SA Socialist. But if you've got someone that's not a Liberal or a Labor and they're actually decent people, go and ask them some questions. See if they align with your values. And if they do, hey, they can't be doing a worse job than Liberal or Labor ever, because they don't care at all. They just don't do anything, apart from potholes in roads. It's like me. You're a federal MP. What do you worry about potholes in a road? Yeah, anyway, that was one of my local ones. We got him out in the federal election. Pretty proud of that. Shout out to Dave Stevens.
Oh, that's great.
Yes,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, the speakers are on for a couple of hours, and we're going to have a panel sort of situation, which is going to be great. And then we move into the entertainment. So we've got local songwriters and singers and poets, dance troupe. We've got a choir. I don't know if anyone, well, of course you would know Jaden Kitchener-Waters, the young Indigenous guy that got kicked out of the New South Wales Parliament for having stopped genocide on his guitar.
That's right, yes.
I love him. The fact that he said, go away, I'm not going to, if I can't have my guitar, I'm not going to play. And he walked out. And he has so generously given up his time to come over to South Australia and play for little old us. So,
great.
Yeah, come and support the artists, come and support the musicians. We also have a really great local musician here called Rami. His stage name is The Shepherd, but in Arabic. So he's an Arabic singer, a Palestinian Arabic singer. So that's going to be a sight to see as well. I think it's going to be really great. And it's going to be an awesome event.
Food?
Yes.
Food
cuts.
Oh, yeah, we've got food as well. Yeah, we've got some food trucks and so everything. Yeah, we've got food trucks up until about 8 p.m. It's a non-alcohol event. We won't be selling anything like that. But there's restaurants around here as well. It's a good, you can come in and out, throughout the day, go and have dinner at a restaurant, support local. Ballaboosta would be my call out here around the Burnside area. Our good friends at Ballaboosta. Really come with your friends, come and meet each other, because that's what it's about. It's about the unity of our community, because together we can change things, and that's what we need to do. We need to get organised. We need to be able to call on each other, to rally together, to call on numbers, to really get things across the line now. And I believe our time to step up is now, and we have to fight. I mean, my main thing, I believe, is that digital ID is going to be the next thing. I'm not a big, I don't know that much about, the ins and outs of that, but that would be my next thing to watch. And I think we need to get organised before we cross over that line for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Just got to resist it.
100%. And another thing is that it's a cash event. It's a free event. So
good.
Yeah, it's 100% free event. No chargeable. But we will have artists there, and some people will be selling their art. And I just ask if you are coming along to the event, to bring cash, support our artists, make a donation, join up a group. We're going to have QR codes for where you can get extra information. So it's about information sharing. People can learn things. We've got some books to sell, some T-shirts to sell. We've got a T-shirt place called Sirocco, who design T-shirts, for Palestine and Lebanon. It's shaping up to be a fantastic day, and we would love your support, and love to get to meet our community as well. So yeah.
Oh, no, I think it'll be great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to send out your little flyer to a heap of people that I've come across.
Please,
Yeah.
I think, if you could make this become like an annual thing, it'd be fantastic too.
Well,
Yes.
that's kind of, we've got a really lovely group of people. So I'll shout out to our working group, because it's not just me by any stretch. There's a whole group of us that are pulling this together, and they've worked really hard, and I'm super proud of them. We've got Laura doing all the art. We've got Stephen doing the performances, Sheila doing the tables. Rami is helping out across the board. We've got Jordan doing the films, Alex doing the soapbox, and John doing the speak up tent, and Catherine doing all the banners. So
great. Will you have a schedule of what speakers are on?
Well, we've got a website. I've put a website up, so I haven't got to that bit yet. A lot of it's on there, and that'll be getting done over the next week. Putting the schedule up and everything like that. But most of the stuff you can find on the website already, powerofactivism.com.au. And more to your point about, making this a larger project is exactly what we're hoping.
States.
Seeing how it goes, we can take it onto the road. So we'll make it in each state.
Wonderful idea.
Really celebrate.
Great idea.
Yeah. And we can do different topics as well. So that's something that I'm looking forward to, as well as touching on some other topics. But it's going to be it's going to be a great day, and we could do with the support from our community. So if you want to sponsor us or donate something as well, just get in contact with us at Power of Activism at protonmail.me. We've had some kind donations and sponsors. So it's an Amnesty event. So Amnesty hired the hall and is paying for a lot of stuff, which I'm really thankful for Amnesty. They do great work. And also a FOPA and IPAN. So they've been some people and we've got some silent sponsors as well, which I'm very grateful for. Even if you can, pay for some printing, or at home print out the flyers and give them out to people. I mean, that letterbox drop, whatever. But we want our community to be there, but we're also after people that are a little bit curious, So the everyday punter that's thinking, I like what John Shipton's got to say, or I really would like to hear what Rex Patrick is up to and what he's doing. And I want to go and see the art of my friend, and then they get there and like, wow, this is, and meeting each other. So so it's really about community and unity. I think that's the biggest thing that it's about, because people are getting fatigued and they think it's division, but the Power of Activism Festival is about unity and celebrating those that keep showing up, and the work that we've already done, some of the wins that we've already had, and the challenges that we are facing, and we can face them together. And that's pretty much what I think it's about. In a nutshell.
Well, that's wonderful, Jodie. And if people listening, they would want to go now, because you've made it sound, well, not just sound, it has got so much substance to it. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah, and we are looking for volunteers as well. So, Kay, you'll be on the board.
I'll help. And Susanna, we'll have to go help. Roped in. We've got to pick all the chairs up, and put them out before they all run back into the hall.
We'll have a bit of, music going, so we're going to do it very quickly. Yeah.
And Burnside Town Hall's well located and parking's very good. So
well, thank you for bringing that up. The parking is really good. You can catch a bus there from the central part of Adelaide, and Uber isn't very much. I think it's like $20 because 10 minutes in an Uber from central Adelaide. Also, don't forget it's part of the Fringe. So Adelaide comes alive in Fringe time. So, you've got lots going on. So, it's a lot of fun. There's no better place to be in March than Adelaide for the Fringe.
It really is quite spectacular.
And the weather's gorgeous.
The weather always turns on.
Oh, it does. You're in the park, you're drinking champagne or whatever you're drinking. But it's really a good time to be in Adelaide. So I'd encourage anyone to come on over. If there are some people that can't find accommodation, we do have some billet sort of situation as well, mainly for performers. But we've got other accommodation as well.
Great. Thank you,
Jodie.
Jodie. Thanks for coming along. We eventually pulled it together to get you on.
I
here.
know. Thank you for inviting me, ladies. I super appreciate it, and I super appreciate everything that you do. So thank you very much for your contribution to our community as well. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I think we're ready to go, Kelly.
I'll see you on the 8th.
I'll see you on the 8th. I'll see everyone on the 8th.
Yeah.
Power of Activism. Let's go.
Okay. See you.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Historically, we are the debris, forgotten faces, never more to be. Instead of legends fighting for something that had no guarantees, living ghosts we chose to live and die as their worker bees. Why didn't we break out from their hide? Why didn't we follow our own sun to another life? Why didn't we scroll over all their flowers? Brothers and sisters, it's okay to be free. Brothers and sisters,